Alrighty, let's go through all of the pairs that you voted for today, starting with Euro USD. Now, mind you, today we do have very important news, being I'm going to sneeze. CPI during the US session, and then following that, an hour and a half later, we have a high impact news on GBP. Right, so these are going to affect USD pairs and GBP pairs. So with Euro USD, or any of the USD pairs, if you do not see any movement until the news is released, then that is why. All right, the price might be just kind of indecisive until the news is released. So the best thing you can do is just wait for the buys and the sells, wait at your zones and see when the news is released where it goes to play. We have our sell zone up top, we have another sell zone up here, and then our buy zone down here. Now, from the current price, the buy zone is quite far. And it being closer to the sell zone gives it a likelier chance for the price to test our sell zone first, right? But whether it is going to respect or not is completely up to the news, because it's a fundamental, and we cannot control the fundamental. So the only thing we can do is just wait at our zones for potential sells up here and a potential buy down here. So if H4 decides to come into our sell zone, since it's very close to it and H4 respects it, then potentially we can catch a sell down. But if it breaks above, either we wait for a sell up here, or we wait for the price to retrace into our key level for a better buy up, vice versa. If the CPI, when it's released, decides to drive the price down into our buy zone, and the buy zone activates, meaning H4 cannot break below, then we can look for potential buys. But if it decides to come and break below our zone, then there is a higher chance that it might want to test a lower area. So we can wait for the next buy, or we wait for the price to retrace up into our key level for a better sell down. Okay, so that's the potentials of EU. We move on to UJ. Now UJ, we have our sell zone up top, and engulfing buy failed. In the process of failing, created a sell, another sell, and another sell. Then we have our buy zone, an engulfing sell that failed over here. In the process of failing, a buy and another buy. So from here, you can see that the price is going in a sideways, right? So now that it's just kind of consolidating in the middle, we wait for the CPI news to be released. So either we wait for a buy here or a sell here, but we will never know until the news is released. Because the price can either come up into our sell zone or drop down into our buy zone. What we can only do is wait for it to come, see if there are any setups that are forming, and if H4 will respect or break. Okay, because if it respects both or either of these zones, it will just continue to go up, down, until one of the zones break. After the zones break, whether it be a sell or a buy, we can look for the opposite opportunity when the price comes back into the key level, or we would just look for the next sell zone or the next buy zone respectively. Okay? Now, since we're on H4, where do you monitor for any entries, especially for newbies and beginners? So you map it out. Just copy my lines, my prices, put it on your chart, and then once the price reaches, switch down to M15 to find a setup. If you cannot find any setups on M15, then you switch down to M5. Okay, just play around these two time frames for H4 mappings. Alright? Last but not least, EJ, one of my favorite pairs. Oh, it just tapped and then started dropping. That's okay. So we have our sell zone, which is an engulfing buy. Let me just correct this real quick. Okay. An engulfing buy that failed. Price came back in, created an engulfing sell over here. And now the price has tested the key level. The key level over here. Alright, so either switch down to M15 to find if any setups are present. Then you can wait and wait for the setups to complete before pressing anything to lower your risk. So that can be engulfing meets engulfing, EFEG, or HLZs, or the ABCs, okay? Whatever forms, know how much you are willing to lose in that trade before you press, because if you just keep on pressing, you are going to overtrade, and when you end up in loss, you will lose more than you expect. Okay, so don't do that. Calculate how much you are willing to lose first, then you can go in and trade. Okay, so again, sell zone, buy zone is just an engulfing buy meets an engulfing buy, but unless one of the zones break, it will just go in a sideways. So you can see this, it's going in a sideways. All right, so again, EJ will nothing will be affecting it news-wise, but fundamentally, when a price moves very, very quick, there is some sort of movement that happens in other pairs, all right, alternative pairs. So just beware, because JPY pairs do move a lot also. So it's just nice to know in case it happens, it doesn't shock you, all right? So that's it for the pairs. Again, once you have entered, make sure you count 40 pips for your SL just to manage your losses, because nothing is 100% and we do not want to wash our profits in our account. Okay, so set your SLs once it hits TP, whether it be the first TP if you were setting it like that. Make sure you break even all of your trades, so either you get more profits or you lose nothing. Okay, trade smart, trade wise, and I shall talk to you later in the evening. Bye.